Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Hello again, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This morning, I was going to my usual YouTube channels, Wood Mode, where Mitch Peacock has his channel, and Dave Barton's channel, and RT Carolina, where Bob has his channel, and Jim Rogers' channel. When I went to the Wood Mode channel and looked around, Mitch was making a box for his Stanley 45 plane. And I thought, I've got a Stanley 45 plane. I'll take a look at this. Well, he made a really nice box. And I thought, that's kind of cool. And when he got all done, he mounted all the parts in it. And he had this little tray full of bits. And I said, I don't have those. So, time went on. And I ended up going to town and doing some shopping. And on my way back, I stopped at the store. And the store that I frequent, which you'll never find it, they had bits. I don't think they're for a Stanley 45. They're not exactly the same. And these are stamped, patented February 23rd, 1886. February 23rd, 1886. That's a long time ago. So I don't think they match mine, which is from about the 40s. But it's the proper size, the proper shape. They might need a little modification to fit into the tool, but I think I can make them work. It's a lucky day. Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate you giving me the inspiration. I went looking, and there they were. Oh, and just so that nobody thinks that I paid a ton of money for them, they cost me 14 bucks. Now the Stanley, it's got something different. It's got a little notch in the side, connects to this pin, and allows this adjustment to pull the bits up and down. These bits don't have that pin notch in them. None of them do. But they're about the right length, and in most of them, I can just file a notch into them. Now there's some really thin ones, which obviously will not like having a notch filed into them because the notch would be bigger than what the part is itself. But I think I might have a way around that. I'll just have to take a look and see what I can come up with. For $14, I can't go wrong. I'm a member of the Old Tools mailing list. It's a group of guys that get together on email and send pictures and ideas back and forth between each other. Kind of a support group from hell. If you've got an addiction for tools, they're going to feed it. The members of the emailing list call themselves galoots. Every year for Christmas, they have a thing they call Galuta Claus. It's kind of a gift exchange. The people who want to be involved in it send their names in. The names are put in a hat, drawn, and then the guys exchange gifts for Christmas. One year I received this Record 44, which is a similar device to a Stanley 45, but not quite as sophisticated. The Record 44 has notches in the blade, and that connects with this wheel here, and you can adjust the blade up and down using the wheel. So these new bits that I got don't match those either, but they're close. And I think it's just wonderful that I got close enough to have something near to it. Now, I bought some 01, and I was going to file them all out and harden them, but having these sit here like this makes it so that I don't have to do all that extra work. This is the blade that came with it when I bought it off of eBay. This notch goes over that pin and it slides in, and there's a wedge bolt that locks the blade into the body. You have to make sure that the blade is up against the body of the plane so that it holds it securely. Now with that loose, I can adjust this back and forth and move that blade up and down. Change the depth of cut. So it's a handy thing to have that notch in there. These blades don't have the notch, and I didn't know that they would do this until I got home and actually had a chance to try them. They fit the body of the plane. A little concerned because if they're too thick, then it won't work. They go in there. I have to have the wedge out pretty much all the way, but they go in there. They're a little thicker. Not much, but a little. Get out my Lufkin micrometers and check them. The original blade is 123 thick, 0.123. The blades from the store are 127. So they're about 4,000 thicker. Now this is a beading cutter, and it's just like it came out of the store, so it hadn't been sharpened. Let's see what it'll do. Drag the knickers back, get a first cut. Then I'm set a little heavy. I'm taking Excelsior sized chips out of there. See if I can drop that blade down just a little bit more. Not bad, considering I just did a rough bead on a chunk of 2x4 with knots in it, big as a house. Set the step a little bit lower. Gonna change the depth setting. For a first try right out of the box, cutting a bead for the first time with a 45, I'm impressed. I'm going to be able to make these cutters work. It's going to take a little bit more doing, and I think they could stand a little honing, but they fit and they work. I'm impressed. Thanks, Mitch. Great idea, great inspiration. Once again, something I didn't think I'd be doing today. Here I am cutting beads. Thanks to a bit of serendipitous luck today, I have the tools required to make the box for a Stanley 45. And I have the tools to go in the box for a Stanley 45. Now I don't have all the little pieces that Mitch does. He's got a couple of stops and a foot that I don't have. He has a wider one. But I'll keep my eyes open. One of those might turn up also. But just having the cutters now makes that tool a whole different thing. Before it was just able to cut basically a rabbet. Now I can cut beads, I can cut grooves, I can cut tongue and groove with it. So it's pretty cool. Thanks a lot for the inspiration, Mitch. Now I'm going to try and make a box like what you've made. And I won't do as good a job as you did, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun trying. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for a video that you'd like to see, drop a note in the comments below. I read them all, you know. Thanks for watching. Putting yourself in a position to be able to find something that you're looking for is a big step towards doing it, but you just can't have that kind of luck every day. This is the cutter that came with the 45 when I bought it. This one came with an old knockoff of a 78. It doesn't have any name cast into it, so I'm assuming it's some kind of off-brand. When I bought this rabbet plane, it had this little beading blade in it. And that was before I got the 45. Once you've achieved critical mass on tools, you're bound to have duplicates of things, and because there's a limited number of tools in the world, chances of you coming up with an extra thing that you might need get much better as you go along and add more and more and more to your stock of equipment on hand.